Trump lawyer Todd Blanche is on his podcast tour, and a lot of it, like going on these right-wing outlets, seems to be designed to like subtly throw Trump under the bus for torpedoing their defense of Trump, like defending his own reputation. But occasionally it delves into true substance. Listen to this.
People took a picture and saw the candy and stuff in the war room. Was it McDonald's for lunch every single day, or did you get something else?
Oh, no. Well, first of all, I didn't have lunch one day. Because
you didn't eat during. You have to eat during the trial. What do you mean?
I ate in the morning and at night. Well, so the food. Look, the President Trump's team takes care of everybody. Like everybody gets food. You know, there's a lot of food. It's not always McDonald's. There's a variety. There's pizza and there's other non-healthy alternatives to McDonald's.
I love that. Todd Blanche, he's a goon and a lackey for Trump, but he's been willing, as soon as the trial ended and he starts going to the media, I'm not gonna say that he's not pulling his punches, but he's poking Trump a little bit. He's not gonna punch him, but like, oh yeah, no, he was involved in choosing the jury that he hates. And we wanted to testify, we wanted more witnesses, but he got involved. And now it's like, yeah, no, it wasn't just McDonald's. There was pizza and other non-healthy alternatives. He didn't need to say that. He could have said there's a variety of types of food or whatever, but he had to throw Donald Trump's culinary excesses under the bus alongside the former president. But that said, he didn't succumb. It was a high pressure situation, this trial, and there's a lot of food and a lot of candy around, but Todd Blanche stayed strong. Watch this.
But look, I loved it because you come in from lunch and as you know, when you're on trial, you're trying to figure out what the heck you're gonna stuff in your belly with the hour that you have. And we would walk in and there would just be just plethora of like just food everywhere. But I always take trials as an opportunity to lose a few pounds. So, it's my own little way to
Did you lose weight?
Yes, absolutely. I think I lost, I haven't weighed myself since the verdict, but 7 or 8 pounds during the trial.
Wow.
So
I mean, if that's true, that's a lot to lose over the course of just like a 5-week trial or whatever. And I love the contrast. It's like, oh no, they were filling that place with candy because some people couldn't stop eating it, but I got trimmed during it, I added a couple pull-ups to my routine. I love that. Hey, I'm glad you're here. Listen, in order for the Damage Report to keep on going, we need viewers like you to become a member on YouTube. Can you click the join button on YouTube today? Thank you. And stick around in a few minutes. We're gonna break down that photo that actually Don Jr. provided. We'll get to that, but Sharon, what do you make of this?
Blanche was actually trolling Trump, but it went over Trump's head. Okay, Stephen Miller probably had to pull him aside. Steve Bannon, hey, here's what's really going on. He's making fun of you. I think it's fun. This guy does not want to be anywhere near Donald Trump and is probably begging right now in his way to be fired. He will not see the next trial down in Florida, which, Judge Cannon has made sure that won't happen anyway. But I think it's lovely and somewhat highbrow when your client, and by the way, he lost the pounds, not because it was easy to resist all the junk food, but because his client gives him indigestion, like the rest of us. He couldn't eat. It was just this day in and day out of popping Tums because of his client.
Just feeling sick. Look, I will say this sort of thing I think is funny, but I will say, although I do not like ever to draw any sort of comparison between myself and Donald Trump, this is probably the area where we're the most the same. I don't traditionally have the best diet, and it's difficult to change after decades of habits. And honestly, when I get stressed out, I stress eat too. So I'm not even being sarcastic. I have some sympathy for Donald Trump in this. He's in this trial. He wants to appear strong, but he's eating his feelings. And I would be doing the same thing. I do that when I'm not even potentially risking 4 years in prison. But that said, the comparison continues because his choice of snacks actually has some overlap with what I like. So this was put up by Don Jr. So Don Jr. put this on TikTok. Again, using his father to try to get followers. This guy is so thirsty to be famous. Wealth has not provided him with any solace, any satisfaction. He thinks fame will. I doubt it. But in that photo, you can actually see quite a few snacks in front of Donald Trump. That includes a half-finished 20-ounce Diet Coca-Cola, an opened bag of Lay's potato chips, a box of Milk Duds, a Milky Way bar, a theater-sized box of Whoppers malted milk balls, and what appeared to be 4 Hostess snowballs.
Sure.
Now, I like every single one of those things. I think that Whoppers are good to a certain point. I think Milk Duds are underrated. That said, that is a hell of a thing to accompany your McDonald's lunch. I like all that. Look, honestly, Trump's go-to McDonald's meal, which Corey Lewandowski wrote about, 2 Big Macs, 2 Filet-O-Fish, and a chocolate shake. I'm not interested in the chocolate shake, but I love a Big Mac. I love a Filet-O-Fish. But the volume of that is just a gut punch. And everyone bear in mind, we don't know the physical condition of most people in public life, but for Trump, we do. We know the result of Ronnie Jackson's physical examination of him, and it was revealed Donald Trump weighs less than I do. How can you eat that much at like a slim trim 230? What do you think, Sharon?
I too noted the volume, but I keep going to this. He is eating all that. I do believe that. He lies about everything else. That's not a lie. But I just kept thinking about the gas. Remember early on in the trial, there were these reports that the flatulence was just unbearable. There were people begging to go to the overflow room. That's how bad it was in the courtroom. So that's all I can think about when you read off that menu. And by the way, snowballs, really? I mean, your mom made the cookies. We've seen you eat the cookies, but you're nowhere near to this level. Those snowballs are disgusting. I mean, come on, really?
I think they're good. I'm not saying I haven't eaten one in years probably, and I cannot conceive of sitting down and eating 4. How could you possibly eat 4? But I think they're quite tasty actually. Yeah. But anyway, look, in closing, and kind of the reason I want to talk about this is what I think is interesting about this. And again, I'm like trying to show some compassion. The dude is super stressed out and I get it. When Trump launched his presidential bid, he said, and there seemed to be good visual evidence of this, that he was trying to get healthy for the campaign trail. It's difficult being on the campaign trail, let alone also balancing all these lawsuits and everything. And it seemed like he had lost like 15 pounds or something. But now he's back on the old habits. And I do think, and I can say this, I think from my own personal experience, I think this is a very strong indication of massive stress. I think he is worried about these trials. I think he is worried about the campaign. He's not acting, he's not eating like a person who's super confident that he's got this thing locked down. And I will draw optimism from literally anything I can. Right now, I draw it from the state of Donald Trump's digestive tract. Any other thoughts?
I do think he's worried. The whole fake thing where he closes his eyes. I know he was asleep for some of it, even though many in the mainstream media won't admit it. But other times he was closing his eyes to kind of like close out reality. I do think that he is concerned. He's also concerned because the mob isn't showing up for him like it had in previous years. He'd order them to do this or that, but they haven't really shown up in large numbers since January 6th when they, scurried into the Capitol and caused all that damage and defecated everywhere. So I think he's worried about a number of things. His children, I mean, they showed up that one day, but it's like, how much did he have to pay them? I mean, even Tiffany was there, I believe. She showed up at the trial for sentencing.
She showed up.
Verdict, rather. The verdict, yes. Sentencing still to come.
Big 7-Eleven day. Members make a difference here at TYT. You help make the show happen, and we see you in the chat with your loyalty badge. Click the join button to become a member today.